Hey guys, I'm back. I've been working on getting the van ready for Carlisle, and one of the things I had to do was I had to reseal the headlights because they kept leaking water every time I washed the car. I'm going to show you how I managed to make them look nice and clean on the inside like this compared to how they looked before. Before I did this, the headlights were actually kind of foggy inside the housing, and that's because of all the condensation and hard water that got inside of them. And so there were a bunch of little marks left over, and it was not nice. And so by resealing your headlights, you can finally do a permanent blinker fluid delete on your headlights and turn signals. Turns out, resealing your headlights is actually pretty easy. All you really need are tools to get the headlights off your car, an oven, and some butyl rubber. On top of that, I may suggest some wood, a heat gun, and some gloves. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of depth on how to remove your headlights because I understand that's a very vehicle-specific thing, but essentially you're going to, in most cases, need to potentially remove your bumper, but there should be guides out there that can help you out on how to do that. And while you're doing that, you're going to want to go ahead and disconnect any headlights, turn signals, basically get everything disconnected from that headlight housing. That way you don't pull on any of the wires while you take it out. Once you get your headlights off the car, you're going to go ahead and preheat your oven to 220 degrees. And the reason why we're using the oven here is because we're going to heat up the butyl rubber seal that's on our headlights so that we can open them up and access what's inside, clean them up, and then we're going to use it again to put them back together. Now, it's important that you let the oven fully preheat because some ovens will overshoot their temperature target, and you don't want to have that happen while you have your headlights in there. It's not a great time if you melt your headlights. Now, once the oven's heated up, you're going to go ahead and put your headlights in on some pieces of wood in the oven. The reason why we put them on the blocks of wood is to ensure that none of the parts of the headlight are touching the rack or the sides of the oven, because those are going to be much hotter than the air that's in the oven, or they're going to transfer heat into the headlight a lot faster in that one little small part where it's touching, and you could melt or deform that particular part of the headlight. Now, you're going to leave the headlight in there for usually 3 to 5 minutes is a good starting point. Put it in there, see how it feels afterwards, and if it's giving you a lot of resistance trying to pull it apart, you're going to go ahead and put it back in. Now, the way that you pull it apart is you're going to find the one little edge or corner where it looks like it's going to come apart. In my case, my headlights are hinged. Well, it's not really a hinge, but it's how you take them apart. The edge with the turn signal, that stays put as the rest of the headlight unseals. And then it'll just unslot from where the turn signal is last. You'll be able to look at your headlight and just kind of figure out how it needs to come apart. A lot of the time you might find screws on the back, you might find little clips that go around. All you have to do with those is just bend them. The plastic is really soft from being heated up. Once you get them apart, you're going to go ahead and clean up the housing, get rid of any debris. I had a lovely little fly that was stuck in mine, and yeah, you're just going to get it all nice and ready. Once everything's set, you're going to go ahead and take a little bit of the butyl rubber and just line the entire length of the headlight housing. You don't need much at all. The amount that I used in this video is actually too much. I wasn't able to fully put my headlights back together. So a little bit of this stuff goes a long way, especially if you don't remove all of the old sealant, because you're basically building up material in the crevice where the lens inserts into. But this material is exactly what's going to keep the weather from getting into our headlights and giving us free blinker fluid when we don't want any. Now, in order to put the headlights back together after you go ahead and add that sealant, you're going to go ahead and just put the lens on the opposite of how you took it off, but you're going to notice it's not going to go in all the way. That's because we have to heat the headlight up, so we're going to put it back in the oven for pretty much however long it took the first time. And this might take several tries, just kind of heating it up, pressing a little bit further together, heating up a little more, heating up a little more, just because it's going to be a pretty tight fit. The good news is that once you get it put together, you should have a perfect seal from the weather, and no more blinker fluid's going to get inside your headlight. It's also worth noting that a lot of lights have little rubber seals that you're supposed to put on the back that go over the bulb. If you don't have that, you're also going to have a lackluster weather seal. So now you should have your headlights all put back together. They should be all nice and clean. No more dead flies in them. Absolutely beautiful. So of course all you got to do is put them back on and put everything back that you had to take off to get to this point. So your bumper, put your bulbs back in, all that good stuff. So hopefully now you know everything that you need in order to seal up your headlights nice and tight so you don't get any water in them. I gotta get back to getting ready for Carlisle. I'm actually getting the van inspected today. I just had it transferred into my name and I gotta do the whole PA state inspection deal. First time I'm doing that, I'm a little nervous, but should be okay. I'm really excited for Carlisle. If you're gonna be there, let me know. Well, okay, I guess this is going live on the day that the event starts, but still let me know if you were there, if you saw me, whatever. I like hearing from you guys. This will be there, hopefully. Should make the trip. And if you liked this video and found it helpful, go ahead and give it a like. I really appreciate it. It helps me out and it shows that I'm doing a good job and that I should kind of keep doing what I'm doing. And if you want to see more content on me working on the Odyssey here, go ahead and subscribe. I've published videos every single week and try to do something fun. I also have my TikTok and Instagram and those are also cool. So if you're at all interested in this, go ahead and do that, and go ahead and check out my store if you want to support me. If you've been a fan for a while and you want to help fund some projects, those stickers are the best way to do that. So, till next time guys, stay classy.